Part 1. The kind of man every woman fears losing. Have you ever wondered why some men come and go in a woman's life? Yet there's one kind she can never forget, one kind she secretly fears losing. It's not the man who chases, begs for attention, or compromises just to stay. What she fears losing is the man who knows his worth, stands grounded, and carries himself with a strength that cannot be replaced. Every woman may meet many men, but only a rare type leaves an imprint so deep that letting him go feels like a mistake she'll never recover from. He is not desperate, not needy, and never sacrifices his self-respect. Instead, he moves through life with quiet confidence, like Marcus Aurelius once wrote. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This man doesn't measure his value by her approval. His presence alone speaks of discipline, self-control, and inner power. He becomes the anchor she didn't know she needed, the calm in the storm. Think about the man who, in the middle of chaos, refuses to crumble. While others beg for attention, he chooses silence and strength. While others chase endlessly, he stays focused on his path. That rare composure makes him unforgettable. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." His freedom comes from not being enslaved by neediness or fear of loss. This is why women fear losing such a man, because rarity is valuable. The world is full of men who collapse under pressure or sacrifice themselves for affection. But the man who holds his ground, who doesn't need to be chosen to know his worth, that man cannot be replaced. Part 2. Emotional stability and self-control. One of the rarest and most powerful traits a man can embody is emotional stability. A woman feels safe with a man who does not break down in storms, who does not react with anger or desperation when life tests him. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. This kind of man feels emotions, but he does not let them rule him. He may experience anger or disappointment, yet he channels those feelings into strength rather than chaos. He does not lash out when disrespected, nor collapse when challenged. His calm presence becomes a shield, a foundation she can rely on. Consider the man who refuses to argue endlessly or lose control over jealousy. Instead, he holds his ground with composure. That discipline separates him from the majority. Seneca wrote, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." True power comes not from controlling others, but from governing one's own impulses. Such stability builds trust. People respect the man who stays calm under pressure, and trust is the heart of every deep connection. A woman instinctively knows this. The man who remains centered when others lose themselves becomes irreplaceable in her eyes. In a world filled with emotional chaos, he is the calm in the storm. This is why emotional stability and self-control are not just attractive, they are unforgettable. They make a man the anchor every woman fears to lose. Part 3. Living with purpose and direction. What makes a man unforgettable is not his charm, but his purpose. He does not wake up waiting for life to hand him meaning. He rises with vision, with direction, with a mission that drives him forward. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. A purpose-driven man does not need a relationship to complete him. He is already whole, rooted in something greater than temporary emotions." This independence creates admiration and respect. A woman senses his life has depth, and she fears losing the rare energy of a man who walks his own path. Think of the man who, while others drift from one distraction to another, keeps his eyes on a long-term goal. He sacrifices short-term comfort for lasting growth. His focus makes him trustworthy, his resilience inspiring. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. The man of purpose wastes nothing." Such men lift others simply by standing firm in their mission. They do not seek validation, yet their determination draws people in. A woman who sees this knows she cannot easily replace him, because his life is guided by vision, not by fleeting desire. Purpose transforms a man into gravity steady, unshakable, impossible to ignore. And once experienced, losing him feels like losing direction itself. Part 4. Unshakable confidence. Confidence is magnetic, but unshakable confidence stands on another level. It is not arrogance or loudness. It is the quiet assurance of a man who knows who he is. what he stands for, and where he is going. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. True confidence does not seek approval." This kind of man does not collapse under criticism, rejection, or comparison. His worth is not tied to fleeting opinions. His steadiness becomes a foundation of trust. A woman feels both safe and inspired, knowing his strength does not depend on her validation. Picture a man who, when faced with rejection, does not chase or beg. When challenges arise, he does not drown in self-pity. Instead, he stands firm, trusting himself to handle whatever comes. Seneca reminded us, "The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. Confidence shields him from being shaken." Such confidence fuels ambition. He does not wait for permission. He moves forward even when the path is uncertain. His momentum creates admiration because it shows faith in himself stronger than fear of failure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A man like this is rare. He does not need to prove himself or dominate others. His presence alone carries silent power. Women fear losing him not because of games or words, but because once gone, they know they may never find such steadiness again. Part 5. Leadership and Strength. True leadership is not about control or titles. It is about presence, clarity, and the strength to guide when others fall into confusion. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A real leader lives his values, instead of demanding obedience. This man makes decisions with calm authority. He remains steady when others collapse under pressure. His strength is not just physical, but emotional and mental, the resilience to endure hardship, the courage to defend values, and the discipline to face storms without retreat. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." His strength builds trust and respect. Think of the man who listens carefully before acting, who leads by example rather than by force. He does not manipulate or dominate, but he uplifts and sets standards. His leadership gives direction. His strength provides security. A woman beside such a man feels both protected and inspired. Leadership also requires vision. While many drift aimlessly, he sets goals and persists with determination. This vision draws others toward him, because people are naturally pulled to a man who knows where he is going. Epictetus reminded us, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Such a man becomes more than a partner, he becomes an anchor. His presence brings stability, his strength offers protection, and his leadership inspires growth. That is why losing him feels like losing safety itself. Part 6. Respect and Boundaries. One of the strongest marks of a man every woman fears losing is his respect both for himself and for others. He does not allow mistreatment, nor does he lower his standards for temporary validation. Marcus Aurelius said, "The respect of others is a consequence of self-respect. A man with respect carries himself with dignity. He treats others with fairness, but never tolerates disrespect. This balance sets him apart." Seneca reminded us, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Boundaries are the way a man proves his worth. They protect his peace and preserve his strength." Consider the man who knows when to say no, who refuses to let his time and energy be wasted. While many bend to please others, he stands firm. This courage makes him rare, because he shows that love without respect is nothing. A woman who meets such a man knows she cannot play games with him. His presence demands authenticity. Boundaries also shape how he loves. He never disrespects with lies or carelessness, and he never accepts disrespect in return. Epictetus taught, "How long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself?" This principle guides him to hold himself and those around him to higher standards. Such men are unforgettable. They create relationships built on clarity and trust. A woman fears losing him not because of attachment, but because once he is gone, she knows true respect and firm boundaries are nearly impossible to find again. Part 7. The scarcity factor and final lesson. One of the most subtle yet powerful traits of a man every woman fears losing is his scarcity. He does not give his time and energy to everyone. His presence feels valuable because it is not easily available. As Seneca said, "Nothing is more precious than time, yet nothing is less valued." Scarcity is not about playing games. It is about living a purposeful life where not everyone qualifies for access. This makes his attention rare, and rarity always creates value. A woman senses that being close to him is a privilege, not an entitlement. Think of the man who does not flood her with endless attention. Instead, when he gives his time, it carries weight. When he speaks, she listens. When he invests energy, she treasures it. His standards remain high, and he walks away from drama or disrespect. Epictetus taught, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Scarcity keeps him free from wasting life on what does not matter. This independence makes him irreplaceable. He does not collapse if someone leaves. He continues his mission, grounded in himself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The man who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. His why makes him unstoppable." In the end, women fear losing such a man because he is rare. Emotional stability, purpose, confidence, strength, respect, and scarcity. These are not gifts, but choices. They are built through discipline and self-mastery. Become this man, and as Seneca said, "You will never be truly free until you have mastered yourself." When you embody these traits, you are no longer replaceable. You become unforgettable.